Andy Aldert. In this edition of In Deep, I'd like to take a look at some slide guitar in open E tuning. A lot of guitar players love the sound of slide guitar, and you know, they might be a little afraid to dive in because there's a lot to get a hold of when you first investigate slide guitar playing. I love playing slide guitar. I've been playing slide with Dickie Betts for 11 years, and so I recommend that everybody do it. And here's a little primer on it. So let's go. All right, I'm in an open E tuning here. So this is basically emulating your typical E chord shape, cowboy chord shape, by tuning the A string up a whole step to B, the D string up a whole step to E, and the G string up a half step to G sharp. So going from 6 to 1, the tuning now is E, B, E, G sharp, B, and E. Strumming across all the strings gives you an E major chord. Likewise, if you were to bar or lay the slide across all the strings at any given fret, you're going to get a major chord. So if we do it at the 3rd fret, that's a G chord. 5th fret is an A chord. 7th fret's B. 10th fret is D. And 12th fret would be E again. For soloing, it's funny, you know, there's usually 2 positions that people use. They'll use an open string position down here, or they'll stay up around the 12th fret. Johnny Winter said to me once, well, when I'm playing down here, I just think about the 3rd and the 5th fret on every string, which kind of works. I'll show you what I mean. That would give you this. So you can see it gets a little funny when you use the G sharp and the 5th fret on the G string, because it gives you a C sharp, so you're sort of outside that blues scale thing. So if you leave out the G string entirely, you would get this. So we have some doubling because we have E open and an E there, and then we have an E there and an E there. There are, of course, many other ways to move around. The G string, though, is very useful because we can play a 5th here at the 3rd fret, and then we get the flat 7th at the 3rd fret there too. So a common thing to do in playing slide is to play those 2 notes together, because the slide easily lays across the 2 strings. So there you can see. Or you might play something like. So I did a. If we move up, just as we had done 5 and 3 across all the strings, you could do 12 and 10. And let's add 9 on the A string. And then higher than that, you get into mostly on the higher strings. So this here is like this here. So I'm going to solo over a track now using these different positions.
1, 2, 3.
All right, I started the solo with a very typical thing to do when you're in open E. So I'm alternating between the G and the B string at the 3rd fret, and then I vibrato. Now some basic slide technique stuff. You know, with this hand, I'm not muting at all behind the slide. It's kind of the Dwayne Allman way to play. And the fingers are just out, as you can see. So that means all the muting work has to get done with the pick hand. So I create these little bridges. And by bridge, I mean I'm muting around the string that I want to sound. So if I'm on the B string, I'm blocking the high E and the G with those fingers. If I'm on the G string, then my bridge is occurring on the D and the B. So it's sort of centered. And then I'm just moving those pairs across to mute. It can get more complicated, of course, as you go, but that's the basic idea. And if I'm on the lower string, I want to make sure I'm blocking those higher strings in some way. And I did this one lick that I really love, pilfered from Mr. Johnny Winter. So I slide up to 5th fret, open, pull off, slide down on the G, and up on the D. This is another thing, basic slide technique. Moving in contrary directions all the time is going to give you a really good sound, and a sound that we're accustomed to. You hear Dwayne Allman do it all the time, and all the great slide players do it. So I just took some of those same ideas that I did down here, and I did them up here. And I'd just like to talk about on the 5 chord, I could play here for B and here for A. So the littlest bit of a reference is going to sound really cool. It's going to accentuate that chord change. And then I like to go up here too. For the 5 chord. So this little B minor pentatonic. It's kind of a Robert Nighthawk thing to do. Sounds really cool. And then back to E. Even though you're on the A chord. Just go right back to E licks, anticipating the change. Back to E, and then your classic turnaround when you're in open E. So you're going to play the same fret on the 5th and 3rd strings. And if you want, you can add your 2nd fret of the D string there. Or you could do that one. That's an Elmore James one.